Good morning. Thanks for joining me at Coffee with Kory. I want to give a little summation of what we talked about last week because Jassie and I went to Florida to check on our home down there, and we were very fortunate. We had no damage to our home. There were some ripped screens outside and a lot of debris and branches and one big tree that were down. But fortunately, as we got ready to get started last Saturday, our landscapers rolled up with all their equipment and trucks, and they did they did all of the big cutting and all of that kind of stuff. But Jassie and I still spent the balance of the day cleaning up the yard, bringing stuff out to the curb, and but overall we were very fortunate. So thank you to everybody that's reached out and expressed concern and asked how things are going. But we were so fortunate, especially compared to, we took the drive around Anna Maria Island, and the devastation there was unlike anything I've ever seen. Just the amount of sand just everywhere, piled up like snow, and the houses, there were some houses that were just tipped over, and the houses that were basically turned inside out because people were cutting out sheetrock and bringing all their furniture and clothes and everything, appliances out to the curb. There's gonna be cleanup there for probably years to come. It's mind-boggling. But so we're fortunate, and now we're back in Sioux Falls and off and running again this week. I've got to relay a little story to you. So I'm listening to 80s radio the other morning, and a song comes on called "Celebrate Youth" by Rick Springfield. Now, if I've heard that song before, it's been decades ago. So it wasn't like I was like, oh my gosh, here's one of my old favorites. It was more about the lyrics, and I'm listening to this stuff, and there was a part where Rick Springfield says, "Look into a child's eyes, there's no hate and there's no lies, there's no black and there's no white." And then that starts me thinking about a lot of different things. And where it took me the other morning was thinking about my son Pierce's friendship with Joe Majeski, Steve's son, and just how close they were growing up, how they did everything together. They spent more time together than Steve and I did, but it was a very special friendship. And the one day Pierce was still young. He would have probably been, I just looked at the message that I sent at probably 10 or 11. And he brings this book to me, and it's about, he was reading about two best friends, and it shows cartoon picture of these boys. And he goes, "Look, Dad, these boys are just like Joe and I." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Why is that?" And he goes, "Well, the one kid's got really wild and crazy hair just like me, and the other kid's hair is really short just like Joe." And no mention of the fact that one of the kids was brown and one of the kids was white. And so I got a kick out of that. I was sending a text message with the picture from the book to Steve and Rhonda, and Pierce peers over my shoulder and he goes, "What are you sending to them?" And I told him, I said, "Well, I think it's really cool that you found this picture of these two boys that look just like you and Joe, and I thought Steve and Rhonda would enjoy that." And I said, "Is there anything else that makes you think that looks like you and Joe?" And Pierce goes, "Well, yeah." He goes, we're both smiling and having fun." And still no mention of skin color. And I think that is just something that is just a good lesson for all of us to be reminded of. And not so much even just the race aspect, just the aspect of everybody you meet, there's differences. There are things that you're going to disagree about. There's things that are going to make you fundamentally different than the other person. But if you really look closely, you'll know that regardless of who you meet, you've got a lot more things that are similar than things that are different. And I think if we can all kind of grab onto that and think about that a little bit, things will be a lot more smooth in the world, and people get along a lot better. So, probably not by coincidence, I bring that up on the very day that a little bit later, my USD Coyotes are going up against the SDSU Jackrabbits. So remember that, everybody. We're a lot more the same than we are different. It's just that one team's going to win and one team's not. So hopefully I'll get to be gloating about that a little bit later. I guess we'll see how it goes. But enjoy the week, everybody. And thanks again for joining me at Coffee with Kory.